welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at my team selection for round 6 in World Cup Fantasy. So let's get started. So before we move into looking at round 6, we're going to take a quick look at how my team got on in round 5. Normally in this video, I have to show how my team's gotten on so far in the round, but because we have a day's break in between the two rounds this time, as I'm filming this, round 5 is completely finished. So this is my final set of points and my final rank. So I finished the round on 72 points, and that meant I got a red arrow this week down to just outside the top 110,000. So let's look at what happened with the team. So in goal, I had the French goalkeeper, and he got me 7 points, so I was happy with that. My first goalkeeper was the Canada goalkeeper. He got 0 points, so I subbed him out for the second one. In the defence, Hakimi got 9 points, so I was quite happy with that. Munoz got 7 points, so I was happy with that. He unfortunately did get knocked out though because Colombia lost on penalties. Canada were also knocked out. Martinez just got 1 point because they conceded 2 goals to Egypt, but Argentina did qualify. Saibari, now this was really unfortunate. Saibari got injured quite early on in the match, so he only got 1 point. Had he stayed on the pitch, I think he potentially would have gotten me a few more points, potentially a goal or an assist or both, but it just didn't work out. Elise was pretty disappointing, just 2 points. He got a yellow card as well. Vinicius Jr. really disappointing as well, just 2 points from him, and Brazil were knocked out of the tournament by Norway. And then Dembele was just 3 points as well. So the midfield was very disappointing this week. The front three did pretty well. Kane and Mbappe both got 9 points. I did have both of these players as my captain at different points throughout the week, but I chose to keep moving on from the 9 points from both of them and took a risk on captain and Messi. And he got me 11 points, which was obviously double to 22 as my captain. So I'm pretty happy with that. As you can see, the little icon that's on the top left of my team, I used the clean sheet shield in this round, and unfortunately I think for the first time ever in a fantasy game I gained 0 points from a booster or a chip. So Hakimi and Munoz and France all actually kept clean sheets, so the clean sheet points that I got from those players were the real clean sheet points. And then unfortunately my defenders that conceded, so my Argentina defenders and my USA defender, my Argentina defenders conceded 2 goals, and it's only you keep the clean sheet if you concede just 1 goal. And then USA actually conceded 4 goals to Belgium, so I didn't gain any extra clean sheets from those players. I think overall when you look at this team, if you were to ignore the midfield, I think the rest of the team did pretty well. All of the forwards returns, just 1 blank from 1 defenders. It is just really the midfield that really let me down this week and what's cost me and gave me a red arrow. The only other thing that I wanted to mention about my team for round 5 was the 4 transfers that I made. So the 4 transfers that I made were Pickford to Maignan, I did Cucurella to Hakimi, I did Wirtz to Saibari, and then I did Yamal to Dembele. And overall I gained 7 points from these transfers. Mainly those 7 points have been gained in the defensive transfers. Hakimi got an assist over Cucurella and Maignan kept a clean sheet whilst Pickford didn't. In the midfield, I think had Saibari played more in the match, he definitely would have been able to gain me more. And Dembele, it was just a really frustrating game for France. They really struggled to get into the game, I think, with all the tackles that Paraguay were putting in and things like that. So it definitely could have gone even better, but at least I did gain points from the transfers that I decided to make. Okay, so now we will move into looking at round 6, and we'll start off by looking at the fixtures. As we're on the day's break in between the 2 rounds, we have got all of the fixtures confirmed for the quarterfinals. So the fixtures that we've got are France are playing Morocco, Spain are going to be playing Belgium, Norway are playing England, and then Argentina are playing Switzerland. And then here I have got the projected goals and the clean sheet odds for all of the teams. These odds have come from FPL Joe's website, which I will leave a link to down in the description. For the projected goals, we've got Spain at the top with 2.02 projected goals. England are in second with 1.94 projected goals. And then it is France with 1.92 projected goals. Argentina have got 1. 1.73 projected goals. Norway are on 1.25. Belgium have got exactly 1 projected goal. Morocco are on 0.89. And then Switzerland are on 0.85 projected goals. For the clean sheet odds, we've got Argentina at the top with a 44% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Then it's France with a 42% chance. Spain are on 38%. England are on a 30% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Switzerland have got a 16% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Norway have got a 14% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Morocco, it's 13%. And then Belgium have got a 12% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Okay, and then we'll just take a very quick look at my booster strategy for the tournament. And it's going to be very quick because, as you can see here, I am not playing a booster this week. And that is because I have now just got one of my boosters left. And that is the Max Captain. And I am not going to use that this week. It's either going to be the semi-final or the final. And I think it's more likely going to be the final that I use it. And now looking ahead to my team for round 6, we're going to start off by looking at the team before any transfers have been made to see which players I'm happy with and who I could potentially sell. This week we all have 4 free transfers again, and I currently have no money in the bank with this team. So in goal I've got Maignan and Crepeau. Maignan I'm very happy with. I think France are quite likely to progress to the semi-finals, so I'm definitely looking to keep him. Crepeau is potentially a player that could be sold, but as you'll see as we go through the team, there are a fair few issues in the team, which means that Crepeau is quite likely to stay because I don't want to be using one of my transfers that I think are quite valuable that could be used on other positions or taking a hit for a second goalkeeper. I'm quite happy to just play with one for this round. And then into the defence, Hakimi. I like Hakimi. I think he's a great player, very attacking. But I think that fixture against France is going to be quite hard, so he could potentially go. Martinez and Molina I'm pretty happy with. And then Freeman and Munoz have both been knocked out, so they are definitely players that could leave the team. Into my midfield, this is definitely an area of my team that I think needs some work done to it. So Saibari, well, with Saibari, it's going to depend on his injury update. So right now, we've not had too much of an update. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with him. But I could sell him or keep him, depending on the outcome of that. Elise, I'm happy to keep. Vinicius Jr. definitely needs to go as he is being knocked out. And I definitely don't want to keep a 10 million player in my team that is not going to be playing. Dembele, I'm pretty happy with. And then Saliba, I would really like to sell as well since Canada have been knocked out. And then finally, the front three, I think this is basically the same as what I said last week, but Kane, Mbappe and Messi, I'm still very happy with all 3 of these and definitely looking to keep them. And then the final thing we're going to have a look at before we look at my possible transfer plans is the latest update that we have had on Saibari. So today there was a post made that said Saibari has not trained with Morocco on Monday or Tuesday. It is currently Wednesday when I'm filming this. And so this leaves him as a major doubt going into the game. They believe that he has had an MRI on his injury, but the extent of the injury from this MRI has not been revealed yet. But the good thing is the France-Morocco game is the first game of the round, so this means we will get the confirmed lineups before we have to lock in our transfers. So what I am going to be doing is waiting for these lineups to come out, and I have got 2 possible sets of transfers that I will make. I have got one option for the transfers that I will make if I need to sell Saibari because he is injured and not playing, and then the other option of my transfers is the one that I'll go for if he does start, which I think looks unlikely, but there is a chance it could happen, so I've got a plan for that case, and that would mean that I keep Saibari. So here is option 1 of my transfers. This is the one for where I do sell Saibari, so I'm using all 4 of the transfers in this, and it leaves me with 0.5 in the bank. So the transfers I will be making, firstly it would be Vinicius Jr. to Bellingham, and then I can do Saliba to Baena from Spain, I can also do Munoz to Cucurella. And then the final transfer, my Saibari replacement, would be McAllister from Argentina. Overall, I'm pretty happy with these transfers. Bellingham, Baena and Cucurella are three players that I'm pretty sure I'm definitely going to be bringing in this week. As you'll see in a minute, they are also in option 2 for the transfers. I think they all look like really good options for this week. And then with the Saibari replacement, I think I would have preferred to have Enzo Fernandez. A second Argentina attacker was what stood out to me. Some of the other potential options were maybe Anthony Gordon, but I didn't really want to triple up on England. And then I was also potentially looking at a Norway midfielder, but I just wasn't really feeling the options from them. So I decided to go with McAllister. McAllister's had some okay assist threat throughout the tournament and is okay for the tackles points as well. He could potentially pick up a bonus tackles point that the midfielders can get. So hopefully he could do okay for me if I end up going for option 1. And then here is option 2. So this is the option where I keep Saibari, and this is the option that I'm going for if we get the starting lineups and Saibari is in it. So I still do Vinicius Junior to Bellingham. We still do Saliba to Baena and Munoz to Cucurella, but because I'm keeping Saibari, I am selling my other Morocco player, Hakimi, because I don't think I want 2 Morocco players up against France. I think I'm okay having one in the chance that France concede a goal and whoever I have from Morocco could potentially be involved in that goal, but I don't really want 2 of them. So I would sell Hakimi and I would buy a second Spain defender. So I'm going for Kabassi because I don't really want to go for Pedro Porro, as I think there's a chance that he could still be rotated. And then with the 2 centre backs, there is one at 5.5 and one at 5 million. Kabassi's the one at 5 million, so I think it makes more sense to go for him, the cheaper option, because there's not really much between them, and then that money could be useful later on. So these set of transfers, 3 of the transfers are the same as the last one, and then the 4th one is the different one, but these transfers overall do leave me with more money in the bank. I would have 1.3 million here. I think the main issue that stands out in both of these sets of transfers is the fact that I'm going to be keeping 2 players that have been knocked out of the tournament, which means my squad is only going to have 13 playing players rather than 15. I'm keeping Crepeau, my goalkeeper that's been knocked out, and I'd be keeping Freeman as well. And although this is slightly annoying, I don't think goalkeepers and defenders are positions that are worth taking hits for at this stage. And although in this option I could have sold Freeman rather than Hakimi and keep Hakimi since he is still actually going to play, I was really limited for budget with Freeman only being 4 million, and I only would have had an extra 0.3 on top of that to spend, which would have just been 4.3 million obviously, and there just wasn't really anyone that I was interested in within that price range, so I decided it made more sense to sell Hakimi so I could get a defender that I actually want. And then because I'll have more money in the bank going into round 7, I'll be able to look at replacing Freeman with a good option then. Okay, and that is everything for my team selection for round 6 in World Cup Fantasy. I am pretty happy with the idea of bringing in Bellingham, Baena and Cucurella to my team. It's just that last transfer that I'm going to have to wait for the lineups from the France and Morocco game to come out so I can make a final decision on whether I sell Saibari or Hakimi. As always, I will be posting my final team selection over on Twitter, so I will leave a link to that down in the description so you can go and check that out just after the deadline. If you liked this video and found it useful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Whilst we're on that topic, I would really like to thank everyone that has already subscribed to my channel, as we just hit 100 subscribers the other day and I am really grateful for that. So now the next goal is going to be trying to get to 200. I think I'm going to set that goal. I'd like to get it done by the game week 1 deadline for FPL. So if you would like to help me hit that goal, then please subscribe to my channel. My next video will be my first look for round 7 in World Cup Fantasy, and that will be coming out on Sunday. So hopefully I will see you all then for that video. Bye!